So today we're gonna talk about GoodRx. This is a company that I came across through an investment firm called Saga Partners. They have some really good research and I recommend following their analysis. I will link to their research in the description of this video. This is a very interesting company that I've came across before, but I didn't understand their business model. Now I do. GoodRx is a very innovative company and is doing great work. Let's take a look at it. Before we start, don't forget to subscribe, as that helps me make more videos like this. GoodRx started as a price comparison tool for prescriptions, and the majority of its business is still that. Around 90% of the revenue comes from this, but they've been able to leverage their dominance in this market to expand to adjacent markets as telehealth, pharmaceutical solutions, and subscriptions. GoodRx was co-founded by Doug Kirsch, a former Facebook employee. He started the company after he encountered a problem. He had a prescription to get filled, and it turned out that the drug that he needed was very expensive in the first pharmacy that he went to. It was around $400 out of pocket. But when he went to different pharmacies, he discovered that the price varied completely. The price of his prescription varied more than $100 from one pharmacy to the other across the street. He also noticed that his insurance company wasn't helping as much as it did in the past. Now insurance companies pass the 25 to 80% of the drug price to its consumers. That's where GoodRx comes in. GoodRx gathers around current prices and discounts for you so you can get the best price around for your prescription. GoodRx is 100% free and there's no personal information needed to use it. It helps consumers save a lot of money. GoodRx already saved around $20 billion for its consumers and it saves around 70% for its average consumer. How do they do that? GoodRx aggregates around 150 billion data points across pharmacies, Medicare, pharmaceutical manufacturers, and PBMs to always find the lowest price across all its partners. And it recommends the best price on its app. Most consumers are looking for chronic medication, and so they're repeat customers for GoodRx. Over 80% of GoodRx transactions are from repeat activity. GoodRx is the number 1 or 2 medical app in the App Store, and it boasts an NPS score of 90 plus with its consumers. Given how good GoodRx is, let's take a look at how it works. First, let's try to understand the market. The market has 4 participants: consumers who buy the medication, pharmacies that sell the medication, insurance companies that may cover some of the costs, and PBMs. So what are PBMs? They help pharmacies negotiate prices with insurance companies. They aggregate demand and negotiate what they are willing to pay for drug companies. They are paid by insurance companies on a fee basis. So where does GoodRx fits in this market? GoodRx aggregates all the pricing in its app and finds the best prices, and it negotiates with PBMs to drive more volume for drugs that PBMs sell. GoodRx gets a percentage of that difference. With this business model, GoodRx has 5 million monthly active users and is generating around $560 million on an annualized basis. This is the basic of how GoodRx works, but it's also expanding into different markets. Let's take a look at them. Their first service is a subscription service. GoodRx offers 2 subscription services. The first one is Kroger Gold, where it partners with Kroger to offer discounted prices with Kroger. And the other one is called GoodRx Gold. On GoodRx Gold, consumers pay $5 per individual or $10 for a family per month, and consumers get access to even more discounted prices. The subscription service makes sure that consumers are repeat customers, and therefore it increases their lifetime value for GoodRx. The customers that sign up for GoodRx Gold are substantially more profitable than the prescription customers, with 2 times the contribution revenue in year 1. The total number of subscribers for this service has grown 15-fold from 2018 to June of 2020. That shows how fast this service is growing. The second adjacent market, pharmaceutical merchant solutions. Since brand medications are around 6 times more expensive than generic drugs, they're very profitable for their brands. GoodRx becomes an important channel for them to reach their customers, as brand drugs are 20% of its searches on its platform. So GoodRx sells ads on its platform for branded drugs, as the intent for the consumer is very clear when they search for a certain drug. That makes the ROI in its platform very high. Another area that GoodRx is investing and growing significantly is telehealth. They bought Hey Doctor in 2019 to enter this market. Customers are paired with one of in-house physicians or physicians that they contract with. GoodRx covers around 25 conditions, and the starting price starts at $20, and they cover around 50 states. The prescription in their telehealth solution has discounted prices that are offered via mail-in order or over a retail pharmacy. Even though Hey Doctor only sees a fraction of the customers than its competitors, Hey Doctor is growing at a much faster clip, given that GoodRx has a big distribution channel through its app. GoodRx also offers telehealth marketplace, where it offers transparency for pricing services and delivery options. Now let's take a look at its competitors. For their drug price comparison tool, the next competitor is at least 10 times smaller than GoodRx. But Amazon is entering the mail-in prescription market. It recently bought PillPack, and back then it bought drugstore.com. But the problem is that even with COVID, mail-in order drugs only represent 5.8% of the total market, and the mail-in order market is not growing that fast. Another problem is that average consumer doesn't visit a doctor that often, but it often goes to a pharmacy and asks the pharmacist what drug it should take. Not only that, when a pill bottle is empty, a mail-in order takes around 5 days to 2 weeks to get filled. So going to a pharmacy provides a much better experience. Not only that, PBMs have contracts that don't allow mail-in order drugs to have 90-day pill bottles. Thus, the majority of consumers still want to go to a retail pharmacy to buy their drugs. So now let's take a look at their financials. GoodRx is growing at a 57% year over year from 2016 to 2019. It has an unheard 95% gross margin, and its EBITDA margins have been growing at a 75% year over year in the past years. In its Q3 of 2020, GoodRx reported around $140 million of revenue and a 38% year over year growth. Its growth has been reduced due to COVID. They attribute the deceleration due to reduced visits to doctors and therefore the number of prescriptions being issued. Though when we look at their other revenues, they're increasing at 150% year over year, and it already represents 13% of its total revenue, and only a few years back it represented only 5% of its total revenue. GoodRx seems to be relatively underpriced compared to its health tech peers at a 30 times its gross profits in 2021 at its 2021 projected gross profit estimates. If it traded in line with its health tech peers, its stock price would be around $60. Let's take a look at its risks. GoodRx has 3 risks: PBM concentration, a reduce in its gross margins as telehealth increases as a percentage of its revenue, and healthcare reform. All in all, the co-founders Doug and Trevor are on a mission to be the leading consumer-focused digital health platform. By giving back power to consumer hands, GoodRx has a good chance of being one of the leading health tech companies in this digital world. I hope you guys like this video. Please leave any comments down below. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. Bye.